Thank you so much for joining me today on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adesuwa Osa Owagye. Today we want to look at sleep. How important is sleep? Because some kids don't even sleep anymore because of Cartoon Network and all of that, and even the use of phones by our children. You discover that some parents will wake up in the middle of the night as late as 2 a.m. to see their kids still watching television or on their phones, playing games, watching cartoons, and doing whatnot on their phones just because they are on holiday. But today on the program, we want to look at the importance of sleep. How important is sleep? And so joining me to look at this topic is a lecturer from the School of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital, and also a woman of God. So join me as I make welcome Favor Iniye Omarige. It's so nice to have you join us on the program, Favor. Okay, so today on the program, we want to look at sleeps, and hopefully you'll give us good tips on how to sleep well. So first of all, what is the importance of sleep to everybody? Children, adults, what is the importance of sleep?
The importance of sleep to everyone cannot be overemphasized. You know, sleep is a natural way of revitalizing the system mentally, psychologically, and otherwise. Sleep has a way of helping the body to rejuvenate itself. You know, it helps the tissues to grow, to heal, and then it helps to replenish any worn out tissues. Painful enough, it is a very important and vital um, item that is missing in our society today because of social media and all of it. Sleep is very important for our well-being as individuals to make us to live healthier and, you know, be more active. And our reasoning is sharper when we sleep well. We are more productive when we sleep well.
Let's take it from the children's angle. Now, kids are on holidays. A lot of them don't sleep anymore. They are mostly on social media, like you said. Some are on their phones watching cartoons, and some are just watching the regular TVs, but they are there up until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. They don't even sleep all through the nights, like they keep vigil until the next morning. So can they tell us why sleep is crucial for the overall health of children, especially children? How does it affect their growth?
You know, we're not having a lot of sleep deficits right now because of various activities that people are being indulged in, especially children. Sleep is very important in the general development of a child. If you don't allow your child to sleep well, they can come up with attention deficit syndrome, where they're unable to pay attention to activities. They can become very antisocial. They're unable to relate with people outside um, social media. When there's a time for them to talk with people around them, they're unable to relate. Why? Because they've not slept well and they've not lived their life inside social media. So interaction with others becomes very difficult. And then mentally, it starts giving them problems. They're unable to concentrate on things, on activities that they ordinarily they should have been able to carry out and concentrate on. And that's the reason why this period, we should encourage our wards, our children to rest. And then they should have what we call sleeping time. And then they should also have what we call resting time. They can, if not, it's on the long run, long term disadvantage of this activity is not good at all.
Can you give us tips as a nurse how parents can enforce sleep time, bedtime, movie time, just as you've mentioned? How can parents enforce it? Because some parents see giving their phones to their children as a way of pacifying the children. And they don't even want to take that phone from that child because they do not want to be disturbed. So what are the tips you can give us on how parents can manage their children's social life and time for them to sleep and other activities?
Yes, it has to be, it's a very beautiful question you've asked. Time management is crucial here. The parents has to communicate with their children, bring them together, talk with them, inform them about the disadvantages of staying too long on the screens, all right, on social media, and lack of sleep to their heads. Then they should have a timetable, a routine where from so and so time to so and so time they are sleeping or they are playing. When they map it out like that for children during these holidays, and then you give them rewards when they do some of these things, it helps them to obey you promptly. And there's what we call the carrot and the stick. For those that are not complying to instructions, we look for other ways to discipline them. Take these items from them, their iPads, then allow them play with some other toys outside the screen. Again, you can make them read. Some children, when they carry books, because they don't want to read at that time, they'll find themselves sleeping off on top of that particular activity they are doing. So look for activities that can induce sleep for them and make them do it. In that way, it will make them sleep more often and then reduce their screen time, also reduce their time of lack of sleep. So I want to use
a lot of children suffers from sleep disorder, and most parents don't know. What are the signs and symptoms of sleep disorder in children?
Yes. You see, after some time, these children, they wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to be feeling strong and more active. But these children wake up tired from the sleep. They are waking up from sleep, but they are tired. Not had enough sleep. And also, outside that, this set of children, they don't have interest in activities that ordinarily should have interested them. They are not interested. And mentally, they are unable to process certain things that is within their age range that they should have been able to do. And then for some, they lose appetite. It can make them lose appetite. They don't want to eat because their system is not well rested. All right? So amidst other things, when they get to school, they are unable to concentrate with their school activities. They can go to school and be dozing off in school because they have not slept well previously in their houses.
So what can parents do now to correct this sleep disorder like this, or sleep regressions in children? What can parents do?
They start entering into depressions, and then they seem to be withdrawn to themselves because they are not used to being with themselves.
So what can parents do to address this issue?
Any mother that sees that their children have not slept well for about 3 weeks or consecutive days in a week should please see the physician. Don't just assume that it's one of those things. No. See the physician, let them do an evaluation, and eventually, if it's to place these children on therapies, beautiful. If care is not handled quickly and easily, these children may need therapeutic care to be able to.
How many hours should a child sleep in a day? How many hours of sleep is recommended for a child?
6 to 8 hours a day is beautiful. It's just okay.
All right, we'll take a short break from the program. When we come back, we will continue. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. I'm still on the program with Favor Aniye Omarege, who is a lecturer at the School of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. All right, Favor, thank you so much for staying tuned. Now, let's x-ray how lack of sleep affects the adult's mental health. How does lack of sleep, affect the mental health of an adult?
Just like we have for children. Adults that have lack of sleep tend to be tired and weary. They lack attention. When there is need to participate in any activities, there's attention deficit.
All right, we seem to be having a little bit of network challenge there. Is Favor, I think Favor is not hearing me now. But let me ask that question again to say she's joining us via Zoom. So, Favor, like what I asked, I said, what can lack of sleep do to the mental health of an adult? How does it affect the adult? Do they exhibit the same signs and symptoms of mental stress as in children, or they have a different way of exhibiting theirs?
Oh, can you hear me? Very well.
All right, Favor,
Adults also
yeah.
will exhibit, yes, adults also will show signs of stress, a lot of stress. They will be unable to concentrate on activities. There's this burnout, you know, and then it aggravates to depression for some. Some other ones can come up with irritation. They become very irritated and um, unable to associate properly with people. It starts distorting their relationship because they've not been able to sleep well. And then they start deteriorating in their health. You know, lack of sleep can lead to some terminal conditions like diabetes mellitus, hypertension, all right, mental disorders like depression and so on. So we advocate good sleep is good life, whether for
Persons don't
adults
see sleep as
and
very
children.
important. A lot of adults don't see sleep as very important, and some who see sleep as important cannot sleep. There are some persons that will hit the bed, maybe say 9 o'clock or thereabout. They will not be able to close their eyes. They will not be able to sleep. And others will go to bed with their phones. How can such a person sleep? So that person who is looking for sleep, who is finding it difficult to sleep, who is thinking about everything in this life, everything but sleep, how can that person find sleep? Because we've been able to establish the fact that sleep is very important for everybody. For the overall well-being of a human being, sleep is key. So how can that, because there's so many people who cannot sleep, no matter how much they do. So some are depending on drugs. They need to stimulate it by using some drugs or the other to find sleep. But how can somebody normally help himself to sleep and sleep well without waking up like 3 or 4 times in the night before daybreak?
Beautiful. One of the ways that one can sleep and sleep well without having to wake up, too frequently is hours, at least 2 hours before bedtime. Do away with screens, whether television, phones, iPads, computers. Stay away from them. When you stay too long on the screen, it's as a way of, you know, impeding sleep from coming early enough. And also, late eating. Some people eat very late in the night. When you eat very late prior to your sleeping time, there's a tendency that you'll be discomforted to sleep. And again, we encourage persons that before you sleep, while you hit the bed, you have a lot of beautiful memories that you can actually, think about. Rather than thinking about negative things, think about sweet memories, things that make you happy. And, you know, for some persons, they can just decide to hold their Bibles, and in the process, they can sleep off. Again, I don't encourage people to continue to take pills to sleep unless they've seen a physician and then it was prescribed and recommended for them. I would also encourage them to continue on it for a very long time because these drugs themselves do have their side effects. So if you want to sleep and sleep well, and they don't drink too much water towards the evening hours of the day, because if you drink much water towards the late hours of the day, you are likely to get up in the night to go and continue to urinate. And some persons, once they get up once, to urinate, they may not be able to find sleep again. Right? There are also other things that you can take. Take light food before as dinner, or eat your last meal early enough before your sleeping time. I think that will help to promote sleep, rest and sleep. Bathe. You can do warm massaging, mind massaging on yourself. There are some mind exercises that you can actually do too before bedtime. And all of this will help you. You won't need any drug to um, be able to sleep. So I've talked about diet. I've talked about um, habits with screen. I've also talked about it don't not taking water too late in the evenings and all of that. I think that will help also.
Sleepwalk. You find somebody is working, but that person is actually sleeping. Is there a cure for that, or is it a therapy thing? Both children and adults. Adults sleepwalk, children sleepwalk. So what's really the cause of sleepwalking?
In sleepwalking, they are not. This is not a very common condition, but it does occur, and people that have conditions like that should see the physician
Okay, but you know there are some that will
because
not see
ordinarily it's not
physician.
supposed to be
Instead,
a
they will
normal
attribute it to
occurrence.
something
No,
else.
no,
Is
it's
there
not
any
a
therapy
normal
that can be
occurrence.
done before
To see
seeing
the
a
physician.
physician?
Eh, when they are tired, at least all of us, we know our body. You know how tired you are. When you are tired, sit down, give yourself some time off. And that's what some persons will never do. They are not truthful to themselves, they are not truthful to their bodies. When their body starts giving them signs that you need to rest, you need to rest. Some of these
Okay.
persons will refuse to rest. So if they're able to monitor themselves to know that I'm tired, I should sit down and rest. At that time, they won't have to be sleepwalking. They'll be sitting and sleeping instead.
Okay. All right, Favor, this is where we wrap it up on the program Healthy Living today. I want to say thank you so much for finding time to join us via Zoom, despite your very busy schedule today. Thank you so much for finding time to be with us on the program Healthy Living. And compliments of the season, I'll be in your house to come and eat rice and chicken. Hope you would invite
Thank
me.
you very much, ma. No issues at all. You are most welcome. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, people, this is it today on the program Healthy Living. You have heard how important sleep is to your overall well-being, especially for kids. All right? Be able to prioritize sleep in the life of your children and, of course, in your own life too. Screen time, bedtime, playtime, and all of that. And once in a while, take their phones from them, deprive them from using the screen so that they can have a balanced life. Thank you. We'll see you again, and compliments of the season. Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
Hello there, it's always my delight to have you join us every Sunday like this on a program News Review. I am Deborah Iviugbe from Thank you so much for joining us on a program. Our first report for review is on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who during the week on Diary Review presented the 2026 budget of 58.47 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly with capital recurrent non-debt expenditure standing at 15.25 trillion naira. He presented the budget on Friday, pegging the capital expenditure at 26.08 trillion naira and putting the crude oil benchmark at $64.58 per barrel. In the same vein, we reported during the week on Diary Review that the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, presented the 2026 appropriation bill and budget estimates of 939 billion 850 million naira to the Edo State House of Assembly for consideration and approval. The budget tagged Hope and Growth is aimed at consolidating the gains recorded over the past 1 year and expanding developmental projects across the states.
While presenting the proposed 2026 budget of Hope and Growth, Governor Okpebholo said the appropriation bill seeks to expand the reach of his administration and restore the hope of Edo people in governance. Governor Okpebholo further stated that the 2026 budget will be funded through an internally generated revenue of 460 billion naira, FAC allocation of 480 billion naira, capital receipts and grants of 153 billion naira, public-private partnerships amounting to 146 billion naira, and other available revenue sources.
For 2026 fiscal year, the budget of Hope and Growth proposed a total expenditure of 939 billion 850 million naira only. Capital expenditure will be 637 billion, that's representing 68%. Recurrent expenditure 302 billion, representing 32%. Edo State will continue to prioritize capital projects such as roads, schools, hospitals, water, housing, and economic projects.
Earlier, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Abobaku, assured that the 8th Assembly would continue to partner with the Executive to ensure the successful implementation of the administration's SHINE agenda.
I know there will be hope for Edo people with this budget.
Some residents of the state also shared their views on the 2026 budget estimates.
With this budget of consolidation of hope and growth, we are expecting a lot of dividend of democracy.
I see prosperity. This is also in line with the SHINE agenda.
The government had met well, and that all the per capita project and its vision of SHINE will take us there.
The 2026 budget of hope and growth, anchored on the administration's SHINE agenda, represents a 17.5% increase, amounting to 140 billion 30 million naira over the 2025 budget estimate of 799.8 billion naira. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, John Wikondario, says it is set to establish a joint counter-terrorism force as part of renewed efforts to confront the growing threats of violent extremism across the sub-region. The chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments and President of Sierra Leone disclosed this while addressing the 68th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authorities of Heads of States and Government held at the Banquet Hall of the State House, Abuja.
The 68th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government was presided over by the President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio. Nigeria as host nation was represented at the summit by Vice President Kashim Shettima, who stood in for President Bola Tinubu. Speaking, President Bio expressed deep concern over the activities of multiple terror groups operating across West Africa, warning that they continue to exploit the fragility of the region's border to carry out cross-border attacks and destabilize member states. According to him, the proposed joint security force is aimed at strengthening collective defense mechanisms and enhancing coordinated responses among ECOWAS countries in the fight against terrorism.
On behalf of this authority, I strongly condemn the unconstitutional change of government in Guinea-Bissau and the attempt to subvert the constitutional order in Benin. I commend the rapid mobilization of ECOWAS troops and air assets, with Nigeria taking the lead to safeguard constitutional order in Benin.
Speaking earlier, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Umar Aliu Toure, condemned coup in the sub-region while commending the effort of Nigeria in crushing the Benin Republic coup d'etat.
The regional response has been measured but firm, and the swift action of our heads of state shows their commitment to democratic values and stability in the region. Then came the unfortunate attempted coup in the Republic of Benin, which met with a swift and resolute action of ECOWAS led by the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nigeria has remained at the forefront of regional diplomatic and stabilization efforts, playing a key role in ECOWAS' collective response to political crisis through dialogue, security cooperation, and respect for the rule of law. From the Old Banquet Hall, Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu John Wikondario said he inherited a badly managed economy but has, through several reforms, turned things around for good. He was speaking while hosting leaders of the Obia Kingdom in Bayelsa State at the State House, Abuja.
Receiving the Ogbia delegation from Bayelsa State, President Bola Tinubu assured citizens that his administration is committed to delivering lasting progress across all regions and defeating terrorism and other security threats across Nigeria. He also assured the delegation that his administration remains resolute in confronting terrorism, banditry, and other forms of insecurity threatening parts of the country. He said security forces are making steady progress despite the challenges. Further speaking on the national economy economy. The president noted that the nation's economy, which according to him was in dire state when his administration took office, has now turned the corner for good. He emphasized that the priority is to translate macroeconomic improvement into real gains for the people at the grassroots.
It's a joy to listen to go down the history of our discovery. But fortunately, recently, God has given us the opportunity. Commitment to duty, the love of the nation is noticed by all, including myself. You mentioned Jonathan. Jonathan is a very, very good leader. He's a good citizen. He's a good son of Nigeria and leader.
While acknowledging the historical marginalization of the oil-producing area, the president stressed that dwelling on past grievances would do little to alter its future prospect. President Tinubu called for a reshifted focus of the Niger Delta region to collaboration, determination, and measurable progress, urging the leaders of the Niger Delta region to look beyond years of neglect and work constructively with his administration to fast-track development in the region. He promised the delegation that his administration will work closely with Niger Delta Indigene serving in government, particularly the managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Mr. Samuel Ogboku, to deepen developmental efforts in the region. From the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja, Amikaro Atta, ITV News.
The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Gwari Pajan Reconda Review, granted bail to the former Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Sigige, who is standing trial on an 8-count corruption charges. Justice Maria Hassan adopted the terms of administrative bail earlier granted to him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The choir of St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church, Benin City, led by the parish priest, Reverend Father Jerome Idebe, joined the growing list of choristers who held this year's Christmas carol service at the House of Igbenedion in honor of the Esama of Benin, His Excellency, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion.
Melodious tunes from the St. Gabriel the Archangel Catholic Church choir thrilled guests as they delivered powerful Christmas messages through songs. The first Bible reading was taken by the choir chairman, Mrs. Vera Okoli. The executive director, operations, ITV and radio, Chief Elder Ogbede Wonse, took the second Bible reading, while the choir master, Mr. Paul Odige, delivered a third reading taken from the book of Micah, chapter 1, verses 2 to 5.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, says the Lord.
The people who walk in darkness have seen a great light. Those who live in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined."
After the fourth Bible reading by the immediate past chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Dr. Osaritin Nadege, the parish priest, Reverend Father Jerome Idebe, took the fifth reading and delivered a homily. Reverend Father Idebe explained that Christmas symbolizes the demonstration of God's love to mankind, noting that the Esama's love for humanity aligns perfectly with the true message of the season.
We are told in John 3:16 that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and all who believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life.
Angel Gabriel was sent by God to a town in Galilee called Nazareth to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David.
The event later featured native songs as the choristers proudly showcased the rich cultural heritage of the Benin people. In his remarks, the host and Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Usawao Igbenedion, reminisced on fond memories and requested old Christmas songs, which were uniquely and beautifully rendered by the choir.
All these characteristic new way of making Christmas, we are not used to it. We are used to saying nowhere. Why you should take the old Christmas song?
God is the King.
Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Now moving on, the bond of friendship between the families of Pastor Saige Izeyamu, former secretary to Edo State Government, and Honorable Matthew Udoekime was further strengthened with the traditional marriage of their children, Osai Izeyamu and Harford Udoekime. The ceremony, which had the Isama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Sawao Igbenegene, as Father of the Day, attracted notable personalities and politicians from different political divides. Among them were the Edo State Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, the Iyase of Benin, Chief Sam Igbe, and other dignitaries.
It was a brilliant display of Benin tradition and culture as the father of the bride, Pastor Osage Izeyamu, formally handed over his daughter to her heartthrob. The father of the day and Esama of Benin, His Excellency Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawa Igbenegene, played a strategic and symbolic role throughout the ceremony. After the fulfillment of the marriage rites as required by Benin tradition and customs, the event later shifted to the reception venue for further celebrations. The lavishly decorated tent was replete with the who is who in Benin, a retinue of political leaders, religious figures, and members of the business community, including the Edo State Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, and several former deputy governors were all in attendance. The new couple later cut their wedding cake and thrilled guests as they took to the dance floor. Parents of the bride expressed gratitude to God and appreciation to guests for the successful ceremony.
Well, one of the happiest days in my life, giving out my second daughter in marriage. We must thank God for children and thank God to be alive.
Joy, my second daughter is getting married to her heartthrob, and you can see that we are all in a joyous mood.
It's from a noble family, the Yasena family. You can see that I'm the head of the family.
My advice for them is that they should watch out for each other and avoid thinking about the fault of each other.
Bringing two prominent politicians, children together in Edo South Senatorial District is a good thing to Edo South politics.
Chairman of the occasion, Dr. Godwin Ehiyamusoy, remarked that the couple made wise choices, which was evident in the grandeur of the celebration, while guests also took turns to congratulate the young couple.
I want to emphasize the fact that it is out of your love and sacrifice that made it possible to be here.
Dignitaries and various groups present danced and rejoiced with the two families in celebration of the union. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Also in the week, we told you that the former two-time governor of Edo State and immediate past president worldwide of the Edo College Old Boys Association, ECOBA, Chief Lucky Nusaka Igbenegene, was honored with the prestigious Excellence in Leadership Award by the Lagos branch of the association. The award was presented at the 2025 annual dinner and award ceremony of ECOBA held in Lagos State.
Confirmation of the Distinguished Excellence in Leadership Award conferred on the former two-term governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nusaka Igbenegene, in recognition of his sterling leadership qualities as President Worldwide of the Edo College Old Boys Association. The award was received on his behalf by the Managing Director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki. Welcoming guests to the epoch-making event held in Ikeja, Lagos State, Chairman of ECOBA, Lagos Branch, Mr. Charles Issa, said the association has in recent years recorded significant achievements, including the establishment of an endowment fund for students of Edo College.
Every year we sponsor prizes in Edo College to promote excellence in various disciplines, in academics, in sports, in various areas where Edo College can shine.
Chairman of the occasion, Major General Julius Osifo, while commending the immediate past president worldwide of the association, Chief Lucky Nusahara Igbenedion, for his remarkable achievements in office, called on the leadership of the association to place greater emphasis on positioning students of the college for the effective use of artificial intelligence.
We are pleased to have honored our past national president, Chief Lucky Nusahara Igbenedion, for his exemplary leadership of the School Old Boys Association in the past 4 years. Clearly and without a doubt, and I make bold to say that unequivocally, that Edo College Old Boys Association has risen to be the most prominent Old Boys Association in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The awardee, former two-term governor of Edo State and immediate past president of ECOBA worldwide, Chief Lucky Nusahara Igbenedion, represented by Engineer Elvis Obaseki, expressed appreciation to Lagos State branch of the association for the honor and urged members to extend the same support accorded to him while in office to his successor.
The award of excellence in leadership conferred on His Excellency Chief Lucky Nusahara Igbenedion is a testament to the good works he did, particularly under his 4 years as chairman of ECOBA worldwide. I'm still thankful to Lagos branch for the recognition.
Other awardees at the event include Mr. Andrew Lotu, who was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Jimmy Omoagege, named Distinguished Old Boy of the Year, and Mr. Joseph Ahibe, who also received the Distinguished Old Boy of the Year Award. The ECOBAT of the Year Award went to Olooku Ikechukwu Peter. There was also a presentation on the achievements of the association through the endowment fund by the LF chairman, Professor Samuel Akpata. Highlight of the event was the cutting of the anniversary cake. The ceremony was attended by several ancient and modern old boys of Edo College. From Lagos, Agboje Horia, ITV News.
Also from Lagos State, we told you during Recon Diary Review that the State Commissioner for Youth and Sport, Mobolaji Ogunlade, charged social workers in the state to continue ensuring that no one is left behind. The Commissioner gave the charge during a walk across the state aimed at creating awareness on the importance of social workers to societal development.
Social workers and staff of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development sensitizing members of the public on the dangers of social vices and the importance of social workers in the society. Lagos State Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogulende, represented by Mr. Abiodun Dina, said the increasing number of people migrating into Lagos daily could negatively affect the state if not for the efforts of social workers.
A lot of families are displaced. So what the role of the social welfare department in the ministry is to provide support for the vulnerable member of the society. We have 15 social welfare homes and institutions that takes care of different vulnerable members of the public.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Pharmacist Toyin Okel Soyintolu, represented by Dr. Toyin Jayola, said the state has assured that vulnerable groups are included in all its development plans.
And for the great work we are doing in schools, in hospitals, everywhere, social workers, they are everywhere in Lagos State performing a very great role. So I want to thank all social workers that are serving humanity for the great contribution that they are doing.
Chairperson Nigeria Association of Social Workers, Lagos State Chapter, Modukbeola Saheed Adebambo, said social workers in the state operate across various sectors, providing support and care to those in need.
Well, social workers generally, and myself inclusive, we take care of the vulnerable. Provide services to vulnerable groups and populations in the society.
The team of social workers also visited the Lagos State House of Assembly as part of the awareness campaign. From Lagos, Agboje Horia, ITV News.
In case you're just joining us, the program is News Review. We'll go on a quick break. When we're returning, the program News Review will continue. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the program News Review. Now, moving on. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, provided financial support of 200,000 naira each to 250 elderly persons in Edo State under the Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program. The support was delivered on her behalf by the Coordinator, Office of the First Lady of Edo State, Mrs. Edesili Okpewolo Anani.
The gesture by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, was represented by Mrs. Okpewolo Anani, aims at improving the welfare of senior citizens and ensuring that the elderly continue to live in dignity despite prevailing economic challenges. She said the Renewed Hope Initiative places strong premium on social inclusion and care for vulnerable groups, particularly the aged, noting that the program reflects the First Lady's commitment to compassionate governance and people-oriented interventions.
As we approach the festive season, it is crucial to emphasize the importance of prioritizing our elderly citizens in our initiatives. They have walked difficult paths so that the younger generation may have a smoother road to travel. It is therefore our moral duty and indeed our joy to ensure that they live their twilight years in comfort, health, and dignity.
Some beneficiaries of the initiative expressed gratitude to the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for the timely intervention. They described the selection process as transparent and the assistance a life-changing gesture.
I appreciate this gift. Wonderful. I describe it. God is your star. God will bless her in Jesus' name.
Never see this chance. I never see. This is my first time. And God will bless them for us.
I'm very happy. I will use it to buy things for my family. We enjoy it together for the Christmas.
The support under the Presidential Renewed Hope Initiative's Social Investment Program serves as a key platform through which the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, supports vulnerable populations, reinforcing the federal government's broader agenda of social protection and inclusive development. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
And now to some religious matters. We told you during Weekend Diary Review that Christians were advised to imbibe the virtue of love in their daily lives as means of building a more godly society. The spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Senior Apostle David Unuefe, gave the advice during the 2025 Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols organized by Independent Television and Radio in conjunction with Christ Chosen Church of God International, GRA1 Auditorium along Airport Road, Benin City, Edo State. The event themed Celebrating the Love of Christ reflected on a message of peace, love, and salvation associated with Christmas.
Christmas carols, which are songs used by Christians to joyfully announce the birth of Jesus Christ, originated in Europe during the Middle Ages. Over time, the tradition has grown into a cherished part of Christmas celebrations around the world. In keeping with this long-standing tradition, Independent Television and Radio, in conjunction with Christ Chosen Church of God, hosted a special 9 Lessons and Carol service. Some personalities read the 9 lessons and delivered goodwill messages at the event to the delight of the congregation. The managing director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, appreciated Christ Chosen Church of God International for collaborating with the station to ensure a successful hosting of the event and reaffirmed the station's commitment to promoting the values of peace, love, and unity.
We cannot be Christians celebrating Christ if we don't love ourselves, if we don't look and preach peace amongst us. Christ remains the reason for the season.
In his sermon, the spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Senior Apostle David Unuefe, urged Christians to see the message of Christmas as an inspiration to live in love and serve one another selflessly.
As we celebrate the birth of Christ, please let there be love. One, love for yourself and love for your neighbor. Love for the job you do.
The event featured a quiz competition, performances by renowned church choirs, gospel music groups, and artists. Highlight of the celebration was the cutting of the Christmas cake by Apostle David Unuefe in company with the management of Independent Television and Radio, led by the Managing Director of ITV, Engineer Elvis Obaseki. There was excitement as a gift was presented by ITV and Radio to Senior Apostle David Unuefe. There was a special appearance by ITV and Radio's Father Christmas, popularly known as Father Paul, who distributed gifts to the congregation. Chairman of ITV and Radio Planning Committee, Egosa Agbonlao, alongside a member of the Church Planning Committee, expressed satisfaction with the success of the event.
I am grateful to the Almighty God for the success of this year's edition of the 9 Lessons and Carols.
The song and everything that inspired us, the 9 Lessons and Carols, was very fantastic.
Management staff of Independent Television and Radio present at the event included the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Lady Celerina Ojomo, Executive Director Operations, Chief Elder Ogbede Uwumose, Director Independent Radio, Dr. Dan Omozusi, and General Manager Group Commercial Services, Mrs. Odum Balogun, and Deputy General Manager Programs, Dr. Sonny Duke Okosun. From Benin, Osemodiame Osage, RTV News.
With that report, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program News Review. Do not forget to keep it at test next week Sunday, which I'll be bringing the program News Review again. I am Deborah Iviogbe for now. See you next week. Do have a wonderful week ahead. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Hello there, thank you for joining us on this special interview series on independent television. And I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Our guest today on the program is the Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. As a matter of fact, the Ambassador of the European Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Ambassador Gauthier Mignon. Thank you for obliging us your time.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation, sir.
Okay, how would you describe your presence in Benin so far? Is this your first time in Benin City?
Actually, it's my second time, but I came in a private visit the first time because I hadn't presented my credentials yet to Mr. President, so I could not engage officially by the time. So this time it's the first official visit. And I came really with an intention to see how, to review the cooperation we are having with the state and to try to see how we can scale it up. But I took the opportunity to visit yesterday to participate to a private preview of the Museum of West African Arts here in Edo State, which is a project that I already saw last year when I came first to Benin City.
Also, so how would you describe the level of partnership between the European Union and, of course, Nigeria, and particularly Edo State?
Well, with Nigeria, the European Union, together with its member states and its development banks, what we call Team Europe, I think is the first partner, is Nigeria's first partner in many areas, in trade and investment in particular, and also in cooperation in many areas. And we have 730 million euros in grants for bilateral cooperation with Nigeria between 2041 and 2027, plus also sizable amounts of loans, subsidized loans. And with Edo State, we've had good cooperation in several areas. I'm thinking in particular of support to migration governance and support to stranded migrants returning to Nigeria, and many of them are from Edo State. And in the last few years, we supported more than 23,000 people to come back and reintegrate into their communities nationally, and many of them in Edo State, just to name an example. So, voilà, we think we can do more in other areas. We're also working in digital economy, in renewable energy, and also in projects for communities. But I always come with states so important like Edo State with an idea of how to try to improve and strengthen what we are doing already.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, particularly through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, in particular through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program in particular.
Fantastic. If you just join us, we have with us the ambassador of the European Commission delegation to Nigeria and Africa, who is in Edo State currently on a private visit, engaging him on a wide range of issues, looking at the partnership between the Commission and Nigeria, and particularly Edo State. Ambassador Migno, let me quickly take you on a trending issue in Nigeria right now, which has to do with violence, extremism, and the talk around genocide against Christians is gaining momentum across the world, particularly in the US and several other places. What's the Commission's perspectives on this issue, and what is the intention in terms of helping Nigeria to deal with banditry, Boko Haram, and all other, extremism that we're seeing playing up in the country right now?
I think it's important not to exaggerate or oversimplify situations which are very complex in Nigeria in terms of violence and insecurity. Of course, it's a big concern for everybody, including for us. We are very much committed with freedom of religion and belief in particular, and of course, any attack against communities or individuals because of their religion must be condemned, unacceptable. But at the same time, we stand in solidarity with Nigeria, with the victims of the attacks, of course, and with the overwhelming majority of Nigerians who are willing to coexist peacefully beyond ethnic or religious differences. And so we stand in solidarity with Nigeria to fight the many drivers of violence and insecurity, and religion is only one of them. And we've been supporting Nigeria for many years through many projects of peace building, of de-radicalization, demobilization of former members of non-state armed groups, for instance. And we are ready to do more. The European Union some 12 years ago received the Nobel Prize for Peace. And so we always feel the necessity to be up to this great distinction that we received, to work on peace building, to work also and strengthen our relationship on security and defense with Nigeria, but in a spirit of partnership and of respect for Nigeria's sovereignty.
Fantastic. You're here specifically because of the Museum of West African Arts, MOA, which of course was launched just a few days ago. But what's your take on the current issues surrounding the Museum of West African Arts, particularly against the background of some of the things that happened there, during the inauguration of the center? You were there.
I was there. It was not an inauguration of the museum, actually. Okay. It was just a private preview, because the organizer, I think, very wisely decided, as there were some criticisms, to postpone the formal inauguration of the museum. They announced this already a few days ago. And so yesterday was just a private preview for partners, friends, diplomats like myself and other European ambassadors. The EU has no direct involvement in this project. We are not funding this project. We might do it in the future because we want to partner more with museums and cultural institutions in West Africa and Nigeria, but we have no direct involvement so far. So I came here really to see the advancement of this very wonderful project I discovered last year when I came first, which is a great opportunity for Edo State, for Nigeria, and for West Africa. It's a West African museum. It's not about only Benin or Edo State or Nigeria, even. It's West African. And I must say that the experience that we had yesterday was quite unpleasant and deplorable, because this private event on a private property was disrupted by so-called protesters who came in, allowed by the police, because there was security all around, but they left them in. And they disrupted the whole event. So it's exactly how you scale off. You scale off investors and development partners coming in good faith, to partner with your community. And Germany, for instance, has invested 8.5 million euros in this project. If now they see that this project cannot operate normally, the conclusions will be quite clear, not only for Germany, but for all European stakeholders.
Fantastic. Let's look at a general issue that relates to the involvement of the Western world in Africa in terms of development, in terms of partnership, in terms of insecurity. Talking about partnership, we're seeing the European Union, for example, always disposed to giving loans to African countries, Nigeria inclusive. The perspective of these loans being a trap for developing countries, underdeveloped countries. What are your thoughts? What's the Commission perspectives on this?
Well, this is a trap where we felt collectively, the lenders and our African partners 30 years ago, and we had at the time to pardon part of this debt, to do a whole work to get out of this situation. So now, through, in particular, our new cooperation strategy, which is called the Global Gateway Strategy, we are very attentive not to fall again into this trap. So we limit the level of indebtedness of partner countries. We give subsidized loans. We don't want to fall again into this trap. And what we are seeing with concern is that African countries, some of them, are falling again into this situation with other lenders, not the European Union, because we've learned from our first experience. So this is why now we work very much with financial instruments, blending loans with grants, for instance, subsidized loans which create revenues for the country, so making sure that they can be reimbursed. So it's really a point we are very attentive to.
On a global scale, we've seen the disappearance of peace, so to speak, at the global level. I mean, the Hamas-Israeli crisis there's a ceasefire, there's some sort of agreement, but we're still seeing some measure of violence. We saw recently the RSF activities in Sudan, particularly in Al-Fasher. That crisis is still going on. And these activities or events that are unfolding globally that undermines peace globally, what's your perspective of the fact that it's like the world is hamstrung in terms of dealing with these issues, nipping them at the bud before it blossoms, it flourishes, snowballs into huge crisis like you're seeing now in Sudan. Hunger is there in Hamas, there's starvation, there's poverty, and all of these issues happening. Why is it so difficult for the world leaders to have a consensus in terms of how they can collectively respond to these issues?
Because we have collective rules in the United Nations Charter, international law. And what we have seen over the last 10 years or so is that very important players have not respected these rules. Take the case of Russia in particular.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine.
The Russian invasion to Ukraine, which started in fact in 2014, then it became full scale in 2022. Then we, from a permanent member of the Security Council, a country which is supposed to be a guarantor of these rules, then it shows that everybody can do anything and violates international law without punishment. And so this is why it's so important, and that is why the European Union insisted so much that all countries in the world had to condemn the Russian invasion to Ukraine. And most countries, including Nigeria, have done that. But others, including large democracies, have not done so.
When you say large democracy, are you talking about the US?
The US has done so, but others have not. Okay. And then, other crises also popped up. And then when the law starts to be broken here and there, it just becomes contagious.
Ambassador Gotna Migno, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate this conversation.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I've been talking with Ambassador Mignot, who is the head of the European delegation to Nigeria and Africa, is currently in Edo State on a visit, and we've been engaging him on a wide range of issues. Thank you for staying with us, and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Abana